stream is live. We're going to wait until we get the go on Ladies and gentlemen, my name is Royce. I am your runner. Welcome back to another live stream. Tonight, we actually have a lot of information that we're going to discuss about a very recent video that most airsofters probably know about. My guest tonight is Matthew Krueger, Big Red Airsoft. Matt, say hi to the people.
Hey guys, how you guys doing tonight?
He is deciding to hold the mic. That's wonderful. We are going to be playing, I believe, on Sunday at Go Ahead's Airsoft Field in Erie, Colorado. So for those of you out there who want to come and play with us out there, yeah, come on and do that. Sorry.
Yep.
I'm nervous for tonight's stream. I'm going to put that in the foreground of this video. Also, I am still working on my loadout videos. I've been trying to get to it all week, and it has just not happened. So I'm actually hoping to take some footage at the field on Sunday. Maybe Big Red will run the camera for me for 5 minutes.
Again?
Yes, again. So we're going to try to do that. And then, as always, guys, if you have any questions at all, please save them for the end. I always do Q&A at the end of my videos. Sorry, checking the live stream to make sure that we're good to go. And the best thing that you can do for the channel, if you guys like what I do here with my live streams on Friday nights and my gameplay videos, is share these videos. If you guys want to like, comment, and subscribe, that is all wonderful, and that really does help. But the biggest thing that helps out of all of that is sharing the videos. I cannot stress that enough. So if you guys would do that, share the videos for me so that way we can get more people in on these chats and more people in on the Q&As on Friday nights. And without any further ado, Airsoftology released a video this week that made me call my buddy here who sells HPA, biodegradable BBs, and say, I'm not going to buy from you if this information is true. I want you to know the position that put me in. I called one of my friends in a business phone call. I called my friend Matt Krueger, and then I said, I'm talking with Big Red Airsoft, and said, if this information is true, I am not going to be supporting your small business in this way, because that's how I support his business. He does have other accounts with other places, Polar Star and Wolverine.
Polar Star, Wolverine Airsoft, Valken.
Yeah. But I'm too poor to do that. What I can do is I can buy the BBs that he sells, which are from HPA. And I had to call him and tell him that I was not going to be able to support his small business until I had more information in my hands. I don't like telling one of my friends I can't support their small business. And we spoke. We said, well, let's look into the information. And so we did. He did a lot of the research. I read through it and made sure that he and I came to the same conclusions. We've been speaking since Tuesday night, every night for several hours at a time.
Yes.
To make sure that, what about this? What about this? And I am comfortable now saying that we have reached the same, we've reached the same conclusions. And I said, okay, here's the deal. The Airsoftology video that came out made me have to call my friend and say I wasn't going to support your small business. So that's why we're here. We're here to set some of the record straight and provide some of the information that we found. And Matt, what are your just quick going into it thoughts before we pull up the paperwork?
My first thought was I received I think it was a text from you. Mm-hmm. Directly, like, have you seen this video?
Oh, no, it was Convoy Bebop.
He messaged you first?
No, Convoy Bebop messaged you. I was on the phone with Convoy Bebop.
I talked to you. I was talking to you when he hit me up and said, have you seen this video? And at that point, I didn't respond to him. I went straight to find the video, and then as I was in the process of searching it, he popped up a link with it. So I watched it straight through there, and immediately being upfront, honest disclosure, supplying HPA BBs, I was fired up. You know that.
Mm-hmm.
I was really fired up. Then Royce and I had talked for, 30 minutes, an hour or something like that. And then came to the conclusion of like, no.
Whose Scorpion is that? Who is it sitting by Ryan?
Came to that conclusion that I was like, I don't feel like we know everything. I mean, that's usually the case on any scenario, that you don't know the whole facts and all the facts.
And if I may interject really quickly, we still do not have all of the information.
And we know that.
We are going into this with as much information as we have gathered. So just so you know, we're not saying we know it all. We're saying that we're going to present some information that we feel is missed. But anyway, go on. Keep going.
So watching the video and just the topic, you hit it, nailed it on the head with the topic. It said HPA versus Elite Force.
Yeah, Elite Force. I think Elite Force versus HPA BBs and whatever. The rest of the lengthy video links, by the way, are down in the description for a lot of the stuff that we're going to talk about tonight.
Yeah, so the big thing just watching it got me all fired up as a supplier, and him making claims that it didn't seem like all the facts were presented. Or at least one-sidedly they were presented.
So one of the things that jumped out at me immediately, and I spoke with Big Red after I watched the video, and now we're getting into the paperwork. Just so you guys know, this is a timeline. All of this information will be posted on my Runner Airsoft Facebook page after the live stream. If not all of it tonight, tomorrow. There's a lot here, guys. I have a timeline of the video here, courtesy of Big Red. Let me walk up to the camera real quick.
Now, looking at that, I mean, the seconds might not be exact. The title might not be what you think it is, but it gives a time frame.
So, I hopefully I held it up there long enough for you guys to screenshot it, and these videos are usually done in 720p. So, Big Red went through, and he and I actually had the same idea. He just got to it before I did. We went through, and what the first thing that jumped out at me about Airsoftology's video, it was Elite Force versus HPA BBs. So in my mind, he's going to go, here's Elite Force, here's HPA, here's their testing, here's this testing, here's how they tested on both sides, here's what they're made of, and do it that way and really do a comparison video between the testing results and so on and so forth. And that's not what we got. And one of the things that jumped out at me immediately, I was like, man, he barely talked about Elite Force almost at all in his video. And if you go back and watch it, because I hadn't watched it, I'd only heard about the video. And I was very heavily leaning towards my friend was in fact not selling a valid product.
Big Red Airsoft was questioning whether we were selling a valid product.
Yeah. So
after watching the video,
he was questioning it too. So I finally watched the video, like the next day or two after it came out. And the thing that jumped out at me the most was he barely spoke about Elite Force. And Big Red and I talked about it, and he made a timeline. Again, he said this may not be accurate down to the 100% second, but it's fairly accurate. So from what we can tell, Elite Force versus HPA BBs, he had a general conversation and explanation of about 6 minutes and 15 seconds total. He only spoke about Elite Force for about 2 minutes and 25 seconds, give or take. He spoke about HPA, the company, not just the BBs, the company, his interaction with the owner, his thoughts on that, and made some claims at the end of his video, which we will get into, for 11 minutes and 16 seconds. So his Elite Force versus HPA video only featured 2 minutes and 25 seconds, roughly, of Elite Force conversation and 11 minutes and 16 seconds, roughly, of HPA. That's over 4.5 times. Just about.
Over 50% of the video was about HPA. The total minutes was like 19
minutes. The total
and
minutes was
55
19 minutes and 55 seconds.
Yeah.
So we're nearing about 55% of the video was just on HPA. And less than 10% of the video was about Elite Force. So my largest point of contention was him even naming the video Elite Force versus HPA BBs. Where was the versus?
For about, what'd you say, 2 minutes and 50 seconds? 2 minutes and 55 seconds?
2 minutes and 25 seconds.
Oh, 25, okay.
Where was the versus?
For that 2 minutes and 25 seconds is all you really can account for both sides.
I don't, but there wasn't a versus. If you go back and watch the video, he never said this company here, and put both of them side by side on the screen and then went through in detail of all their stuff, or at least most of their stuff that can be handled properly in a YouTube video. We're not going to handle it properly tonight. You guys know my channel. If you've been in my live streams, I don't handle anything properly, and I'm a little, let's call it passionate tonight. That was the first thing that jumped out at me. There was no verses. It wasn't a verses video. Big Red over here has a timeline of the video as well, and pulled some quotes directly from the video as well, making some claims, because this is our premise. This is our basis of the entire conversation tonight. So Big Red, if you would like. What do you got?
All right, I'll go through. Actually, let's take a quick second if you want to show this to the camera, and they can screenshot that as well.
Yes.
It just goes through, and it's exact quotes that pull from him that we have information that we believe contradicts it. You guys take that at your own opinion and however you want. But we'll go through that, and that's what all this extra supporting documentation is, that all this paperwork we have.
Just making sure I get a good shot on the camera.
It's good, and all this information is will be provided in your Facebook when this is done.
Yep. All of this information, guys, give us until tomorrow to post all this information. Tomorrow being Saturday, the 19th of October, 2019. So give us, because there's a lot, guys. There's a lot, and we need to make sure that after the show, I still have work for my big boy job to take care of. And so there's a good chance I might stay up and just post all of it. But yeah.
So the first one on there you see is at 54 seconds, roughly. I mean, give or take a second or two. That's just the time I put down. Did my best to interpret exactly what John was saying. He did state that he is not sponsored in any way by any company involved in the situation. That includes Umarex/Elite Force. That includes DED USA, also known as High Power Airsoft, or any other companies. And he did say except Tippmann, but Tippmann doesn't have a pro in this video or anything.
He specifically referenced BBs. Now, I'm going to give you guys a link here that we copied the other night. Here's another page of all the links that are in the description below, so you guys can click on all these links. But sadly enough,
I will say this: I do have a screenshot, I know, at home of the 15th of that webpage,
which is why I need you to go.
I know.
When you get home tonight, you need to send that to me. Links all in the description below. That's what this paper is.
It's all below. Are you just proving that is what's on the paper?
Yes.
So we tried to, right before the live stream started, to go to the webpage and have that so we could show you, as of right now, today.
Elite Force Pro Staff. You will see that in the links below. The Elite Force Pro Staff. 404 page not found.
Yep,
today.
That was what we got.
So apparently we just made up a web link.
See if it still comes up or not.
But yeah, 404 page not found.
Still 404 not found.
Yeah, 404 not found. I need that screenshot. Hopefully we get it. Hopefully he has it. He says he does.
Multiple nights till 2 a.m. working on this with my big boy job too.
Yeah.
It kind of wears on you.
Oh yeah. Go on.
Next one.
Anyway, explain this, because we didn't explain it.
The links?
He said that he was not in any way ever took a BB sponsorship from any of these companies. That is factual.
That
he said, just to get my bias out of the way, I'm paraphrasing here, 100% I'm paraphrasing. He said, but to get my bias out of the way, so you guys know I don't have a bias here for any of these companies. But yet, when we searched it under the Elite Force website and went to Pro Staff, Jonathan Higgs was listed. 404 not found, so take that with a grain of salt. At this point, I'll call it an opinion until I'm able to provide a screenshot.
I would agree.
Of the website. So take that, again, we'll just call that opinion, but we went and searched it just before the show. We're like, crap, we don't have that screenshot.
Royce got a little pissed.
I was a little bit more than pissed. I'm afraid that the Airsoft, the people who have the largest channels in the world, who are friends with Airsoftology, will come after my channel. I'm actually worried that they'll file a complaint with YouTube about my channel if, for some reason, this video goes somewhere. So just so everybody knows, I'm kind of nervous for tonight's show, because I'm nervous that my channel might be put on the line, and this is my video game through the week. This is my stress relief. This is my catharsis.
There's another place you can do this that did the same thing we're doing. I can send you a link to that Dan sent me. Dan is the owner of HPA, if you guys do not know. www.facebook.com/another serious airsoft podcast/videos. And then it has the number for the exact video they did. And they're talking about a bunch, if not the exact same stuff we're bringing up.
Yeah.
Some of their stuff I did get from them.
Okay. All right. So That's one of the things that we found is he made a claim that he was not in any way biased towards any of the companies and he didn't have a sponsorship. He may not have a sponsorship, but when a company does list you as pro staff and now we're getting a 404 not found, there's that seems a little suspicious. Why were you listed as pro staff? Again, this is our opinion because
We can't prove it right now.
we can't prove it right now. But if you were listed as pro staff, why? What does pro staff mean? Does that mean that they just send you stuff once in a while and you review it? Or does that mean that you are involved with Elite Force in more of an official capacity? Does that explain why your video was so heavy-handedly talking about HPA and not Elite Force versus HPA? So there is that as well. Big Red?
Next quote I had on there was around 3 minutes and 17 seconds. Elite Force decided to release their information, so they gave us their lab test, their vendor name. I mean, they said, here is who we buy from. This is it. Here is our vendor. Here is our MSDS. So that was the next quote I found. We'll go through their lab test later, the one that he put on his video. I took screenshots of that, and we'll go through and see exactly what it said. I spent multiple hours rewatching his video to get this information. Then around 5 minutes and 20 seconds, Elite Force claims theirs are, and Elite Force says they are exoplastic. That's their BBs is what he's talking about.
OXO, people would know that as OXO as well.
OXO or exoplastics is what he said.
OXO or exoplastics. So people understand.
Then he goes on to the legal bit of it. At 5 minutes and 30 seconds, we're talking about the United States, where PLA is actually officially compostable according to U.S. laws. OX plastics or OXO, the material is considered biodegradable under U.S. law. 6 minutes and 41 seconds, he talks about the communication that he was having with HPA and the other vendors. His quote that I had from him is, I sent texts unreplied to from HPA, is what he was talking about. And he was very communicative, meaning Dan. Communicative at first. We had an open conversation, text, phone calls, emails, and even using WhatsApp. And he went into explaining what WhatsApp is. And that's where we actually have email here.
We actually have emails that were provided from us. Again, I will show those to the camera. We're going to get into those. The emails are...
This is where we were saying we don't have all the facts, and we know that.
This is where we don't have all the facts. Obviously, in the emails, reading through all of these, again, all of this will be provided on my Facebook page. I will make a folder. You guys will be able to go in. I will do my best to make links for stuff as much as, or probably just PDF files uploaded as images. We have emails here that allude to a previous conversation, but it seems like that previous conversation was fairly friendly.
It seems like
based off of again the information that we have here that was provided to us from Dan from HPA. So
other ones he goes down on here. He goes at 8:50, starts talking about the MSDS sheet. He quotes. He goes in and says like, if you are the manufacturer. At 9:54, same thing. He's talking about the MSDS sheet and how on that MSDS sheet it says the manufacturer is DED Airsoft.
Oh snap!
That it is HPA.
Webarchive.org.
There you go.
We had somebody watching the show currently just send in the image of webarchive.org of Elite Forces pro staff.
What's the date on that? Is it in the top right? It was on the one I had.
The date
should be in the top left.
6th of March, 2014 to 11th of April, 2019. So
that particular page, I know it said his name on there. That
particular page, yes, the Wayback Machine. That was from April of this year. So
that's in the video.
At the very least, thank you so much, viewer. I am not going to name that viewer. Thank you so much, viewer. I love that viewer.
For having my back. Oh, yeah.
Yeah, you know that viewer.
Unfortunately.
Thank you so much, viewer, for sending that in. I will, if we can't find his screenshot that he took just a few days ago, we will be using that. Please send me confirmation.
You could even go to that
yeah, I can also go to it myself and take the screenshots myself. Thank you so much.
So the 9 minutes and 54 seconds, according to Jonathan states that according to Dan, say, okay, he is the manufacturer. He owns the factory. Nowhere did Dan claim that he owned the factory. In talking with Dan, he doesn't own the factory.
No. Dan manufactures the material. Here in the U.S.,
Yes.
then exports it overseas to a factory, has the BBs made from that material he manufactures here. It is then sent back to him, and by U.S. law, when it's sent back to him out of the country, and it based off of everything, he owns the plastic it's made out of. He is the manufacturer of it. He is not the factory that produces it. For instance, Ford is a manufacturer, but they have factories, or they can outsource their products to be made from factories in China, Mexico, the US, Canada, and many other places. Very similar thing.
10 minutes and 9 seconds. One fact, according to him, Jonathan saying that Dan is him, he is the factory. That is not the case. I know the MSDS sheet on HPA's website says that he is the manufacturer.
Where did
not
Jonathan
the
get the fact that he was the factory from? Because
There
at
is
least from
no
the
fact.
correspondence we have,
There is no, all the information is presented to you straightforward, 100%, right down the same line, the same context and everything.
I'm nervous tonight, guys. I'm going to be pounding these like a,
Everything's laid out for you exactly. You form an opinion. Unbeknownst to you, you do. Royce did. Shoot, I did, and I'm the one supplying it.
Mm-hmm.
He asked me directly, what are you going to do if this all turns out to be true? And I told him, Big Red Airsoft will have to come to that decision when that time comes.
yeah. I had to call one of my good friends as a business. He and I are very good at separating business. I have no problems talking with him as a business. We've done it many times.
Yes.
We've done it many times. And I say, okay, Big Red Airsoft, I'm not going to buy this product from you because I don't know where you stand. I don't know where this is. Ooh, we're getting stuff going on with the Wi-Fi.
The Wi-Fi. I'm off your Wi-Fi on my phone.
Pause. I'm nervous tonight, guys. I'm going to be pounding these like
Everything's laid out for you exactly. You form an opinion.
All right, says we are back up. I apologize. I wish I could control my Wi-Fi better. I do not know why it does what it does.
Let's start streaming from my house.
Either that, or I'll
That's
just
a no.
either that, or I'll just start paying a bunch of money. But I had to because the Wi-Fi went down. So I'll reiterate. Called him and said, Big Red, I'm not going to buy your product because I need more information. So over the next day or two, we gathered more information. And then I found out that the information that was presented was less than accurate, in my personal opinion. And so I said, okay, well, I will be purchasing from Big Red Airsoft again. Hey, Matt. I almost stopped supporting my friend's small business because of this. You want to do a live stream?
Yes.
Okay.
Okay, I got 3 more in here. 16 minutes and 30 seconds. Jonathan quoted, it means that if your product is not going into a landfill, an incinerator, or a recycling facility, it's gonna go somewhere else, and that's airsoft BBs. They go into the environment. Most of them end up in the woods somewhere, right? That you have to certify that they degrade within 1 year.
False.
We'll go into that later because I have the actual FTC printed out here, and we can go through that as well as the
we
link on
actually
that.
have the legal. That is false. They do not have to degrade within 1 year.
And we'll go into the exact
That is
details later.
if you do not have an official
Qualifying statement.
qualifying statement, which
I will read out there. I will read out this exactly to you, the entire thing, instead of him quoting the last paragraph.
yes, what makes a qualifying statement is extensive. A qualifying statement isn't just me going, "Hey, my stuff biodegrades." No. A qualifying statement is actually fairly rigorous, and I would imagine costs a little bit of money to do. not only getting testing done, but as well as, applying for it for the federal government, because the federal government don't do anything for free.
Nope. So we'll go into that, the federal government, and then also the lab, and why apparently Dan doesn't have any information for the labs. And I had extensive conversations with Royce about it and Dan over the phone for multiple hours. Second to last one I have on here, 18 minutes and 20 seconds. Links to the federal government's website. Mind you, this is a link straight over to the FTC.gov. It's a government website that it has to degrade in a year, and based on his information he has given us, I don't know. AKA opening that tone to you can lead to the conclusion after following all this negativity about it. You jump to your own conclusion.
And that's our opinion.
That is our opinion.
That is our opinion.
I got it.
We definitely feel that it was very heavy-handedly in one direction. Again, we were expecting Elite Force versus HPA. That's not what we got. We got Elite Force's greats. HPA, we don't know.
There you go.
Guys, I don't want to bash here. I need to say this. I don't want to bash this guy. I don't want to bash this channel.
When I started Airsoft, I looked up to it.
I've been watching him for almost 3 years. I have learned a lot of the information that I have from him. I'm still subscribed to his channel. I'll pull up my phone right now. I'm still subscribed to his channel. I'm questioning whether or not I will unsubscribe from his channel, but he is still a valuable resource and still has provided so much for the airsoft hobby. He shouts out small channels, no different than mine. Some of the small channels and people that come into my live streams are people that I've met because I went and subscribed to channels that he talked about. Do not by any means think that what we are saying is to say that this person is bad. No, that is not what we are saying.
We're saying we don't agree with the material he provided, or the information he...
Exactly. We are saying we do not agree with the video that he put out. Like I said, I highly disagree with how the information was presented. And in some instances, I feel that the information was deliberately presented in a certain way. That does not mean that does not mean he's a bad person. That does not mean he has not done a lot for the airsoft hobby. And that does not mean that I'm going to tell you to not watch his channel, because he is a very valuable resource for a lot of things.
A lot of things. If you've got questions or curiosity about certain things, go to his channel if he has information on it. I will say that.
Actually, he's the one that turned me on to that wonderful masterpiece there. Now the AEG
I love that
version,
masterpiece.
The AEG version of that. But
thank you, Josh Green, if you're watching this.
Yeah. But yeah, I need to get that out of the way, guys, because we're gonna continue down this road, and it may sound like we're just like pitchforks and torches. No, but we do need to be we need to be as focused and as serious as we can about this, because again, my biggest point is I told my friend I wasn't going to support his small business. That means something. That means that misinformation that is presented can affect small, new airsoft companies. That means something to me. So I need to make that clear. I've just been trying to figure out how to say it for 3 days, and I doubt I said it properly.
I also want to say you're not the only one that contacted me. I was reached out by dozens of people who have bought HPA BBs asking me the same questions. And I gave them all the same response that I gave Convoy Bebop, that, hey, I don't think we know the whole story yet. I will do what I can to find out more on this. I got my last quote here that I can put this sheet down.
Yes.
19 minutes and 16 seconds. It's your favorite, Runner. Mm-hmm. If I misspoke, I will do an official correction to this video in the comment section below, in a description in the description box as well, to any errors that may be here, other information I didn't share.
I have an issue. For those of you, you can go watch his video. It is linked down in the description below. He said, if I screwed up in this video, I'll correct it in the comments of this video. For anybody who knows how YouTube works, that struck me immediately. I, in fact, had hung up the phone with Big Red, watched the video, and as soon as I heard that, I called Big Red back. It's almost 10 o'clock at night, and my alarms go off at 4 in the morning, and it sucks. And I think we spoke until almost 11.
Yep.
If I screwed up in this video, I'll correct it in the comments. Which means that only very adamant fans of the channel will go back to the comments to see if it was corrected. Which means that the primary format in which his channel is based around, which is video, he is not willing to make the corrections in another video format to attempt to reach the audience. The lifespan of an Airsoft YouTube video is generally about a week. Every so often, keywords and search algorithms change, and a video will all of a sudden blow up 6 months later after it was posted. That's a rare occurrence. It can happen, but it is a rare occurrence. So what he is saying is that my primary source of getting information out to people is video. And he is not willing to make a correction, or is at least...
He might be willing to make the video.
I'm not saying
he
he's
didn't
not
say that.
Yeah, he didn't say that. But he alluded to the fact that he was just going to comment in his own comments section if something was wrong. And we all know that the lifespan of a video is about a week at the most. I've seen that with my teeny tiny channel.
Yeah, that your views just keep going up, and then they kind of...
Yeah, and it tapers off. And if you actually go look at the views versus comments, there's a drastic difference there. That is something that bothered me. If you put something out in video format, it is your duty to make a retraction or correction in video format, because that is your primary format in which you are reaching your audience. And at the end of his video, he alluded to the fact that he was only willing to, again, this is my opinion, he was only willing to make the correction in the comments section, which would only reach a very small fraction. Whether it'll happen, I don't know.
I don't think it will.
Hopefully.
All right, so let's go on back to your next document here.
Oh, the emails. These do have emails listed. Should I show them?
Like email addresses?
Yeah, they do have email addresses.
No, they'll be able to see what they need to on the attachments you'll have. I'd say right now we've already been at this for like almost 45 minutes.
Oh, this is going to be a long video.
It is, but I think you should just go through reading. If you want, I can read them straight through, and you can sit over and form your facial expressions.
The emails read backwards because as you wait, we just lost stream.
We lost stream again. We got to sort out your priorities. I know the video's still going, but right? That's typically what happens. What is OBS Studio?
That's how I run the live stream.
Okay.
So it probably needs the firmware update. All right, OBS Studio is crashing, so I probably need the firmware update. I do apologize about that, guys. Emails, they kind of read backwards because as you send emails, the first one goes to the bottom of the list, and then there's a bunch of this email can be kept confidential, blah, 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 so on and so forth.
So it says maybe kept confidential. Dan from HPA sent this email chain to me, as well as in here it shows other links of other people he sent it to. So that confidentiality one person kind of thing, it's been going to multiple
It's been
people.
blown out of the water, and we have also Jonathan Higgs said that anything in this email chain would be shared on his public channel. So I'm assuming again, we do not have the full conversation here.
No, but we have this one correspondence.
So yeah, so we do have the correspondence here from at least, these are the ones that we have.
It started off as
So
John,
this
John,
is
as John said.
Jonathan. This is Jonathan Higgs. In a response, I'm not quite sure of the.
Hold on there. In his video, it says everything started off good in open communication, which I'm sure it did. The one response we have here, we're guessing is where things changed.
This is, I believe, where things changed. This is Jonathan from Airsoftology. Thanks, Dan. This helps a bunch. I do have a big favor to ask, and if you can't, I want to be very honest. It will probably not look good for your company. I hate to put pressure on you, but this is my job as an independent voice in the airsoft world. Stop.
What's your inflection?
No.
Yes.
No, because inflection, because that
gives your connotation away. We're trying to present facts.
I am presenting facts.
Yep.
My connotation means nothing.
It's the same way he did at the end of his video when he does his connotation, and it leads you to form your own opinions.
Oh, no. It will probably not look good for your company. I have a big favor to ask of you, and if you can't, I want to be very honest. It will probably not look good for your company. Why won't it look good for my company? Out of curiosity. Why would you open an email with that? It won't look good for your company. Just the phrasing in and of itself is very interesting. Let's continue. So I really feel like you need to at least provide validation of the lab you used for your third-party testing for your bioplastic. Elite Force, he says EF, has come through and have given me everything down to their BB vendor name, plastic used, chemical formula, and ISO testing. I do realize you said your material is covered under trade secret protection, and I'm not asking for that. I've never asked them for it, but they sent it and the vendor info anyway. But with your open claim of lab certification, see attached JPEG file. We don't have the JPEG file. It is something publicly your claim that does need to be validated. Why was Elite Force brought up in this? Hi, I would like your information. By the way, this other company already gave me theirs.
It's that putting pressure where he said, I'm not trying to put pressure on you.
Why was Elite Force even brought up in this? Again, the phrasing here is persuasive. At least. At most, I'll reserve my right. I'll plead the fifth on that. At least it's persuasive. Let's continue. So just as I have done with other parties involved, please consider the following as an official media request for information regarding the claims on your website. Any information you provide regarding response to the 3 questions below in this email will be shared publicly on my YouTube channel as well as any other social media outlets. That's fair. Nothing wrong with that paragraph.
He's being open. I'm going to share everything you say.
Totally fine. I'm good with that. Are you good with that?
I'm good.
100% good with that. Okay. First question. The name of the lab you use to certify your BB's biodegradability and any supporting documents that show you or your BB vendor engaged them as a test facility. You, of course, redact any information regarding your chemical makeup, trade secret. However, I do request your company name and theirs to be clearly visible on the document and not altered to confirm. See attached JPEG, file taken from, and then high-powered. He actually has a link here, highpoweredairsoft.com/certification.html. Okay. 2. Your certification with the Department of Natural Resources, WA, USA. Which area subdepartment did you contract for this, and how are you certified with them? I want to be open with you and let you know that I have filed an official Freedom of Information request with this department and am awaiting their reply on your certification. Full stop.
Wow. Wow.
For those of you who do not know what freedom of information requests are, those are the things that we send in as citizens and can make as citizens to find out what nefarious deeds our congressmen, our other public officials, contractors working with public officials, military actions, to find out, to make sure that the American public is not being kept in the dark. So, by the way, I haven't asked you this question yet, but just so you know, I'm going to the government to find out first. I called the cops on you before we even have a problem. Essentially, that's what it said. Why would Jonathan Higgs file a Freedom of Information Act prior to even asking the company? This is where I get very passionate. It seems as though with the emails that we have here, we do not have the entire correspondence. This is only what we were provided by Dan of HPA. It seems as though if you're filing a Freedom of Information Act before talking to a company, you could be presumed to feel that they're up to nefarious deeds before you even talk to them. Essentially saying that you have a bias prior to talking to the company. That's just what this would lead me to. If you use a different company name other than DED USA LLC, please let me know so the return does not turn up empty. For example, it was done back in the BioVol days, your older company that also used your same formula based on our past talks. Based on our past talks, there was conversation prior to this email.
That proves that we're telling the truth, that we don't have all the correspondence.
We do not have all the correspondence.
Can I make a comment on DED Airsoft?
Go for it.
DED USA?
Yep, go for it.
So DED USA is Dan's mother company, I guess you could call it. Dan is not only doing HPA BBs. He has federal contracts with the government for bioplastics. That's the industry he's in, is bioplastics. And this comes straight from him. That airsoft is kind of a thing that he does, and has been fighting with this for years about his BBs and biodegradability and that whole conversation, yes or no. So that's where DED USA comes from.
3. Your public claim in 2017 that you are an EU EN 13432 certified, which are no longer on your website. Please see the attached screen capture from Internet Archive from your website of November 24, 2017, where your company claimed on this page. He provides an email link, highpoweredairsoft.com/certification.html. Your EU compliance, but it's not shown on your site today on the same page or anywhere. Did your formula or vendor change from then to now? Why was this removed from your website? Valid. You had a certification listed on your website. It's no longer listed on your website. Why is it no longer listed on your website? 100% valid. I think it's perfectly fine.
Yep.
I agree. Yep. Why did you remove this?
It was there. Why is it not anymore?
Yep. 100%. I agree. To finish off that email correspondence, thanks in advance for providing this info, as I feel it's all going to help get a better conversation going about biodegradability and environmental consciousness in the airsoft world. I am looking forward to your reply and helping get this all cleared up for the community. What are we clearing up?
What he's supposed to clear up?
What are we clearing up?
We're trying to clear up biodegradability and HPA's validation of that claim.
Let's go to Dan's response of that email.
Passionate.
They need to read everything that we have. The other one was like, hey, bro. Like, that's
what we're kind of thinking. He's claiming the video that everything was friendly. I really think it was.
I absolutely believe, just based off of like the beginnings, it was like, hey, bro, here's some links. Nothing pertinent to the conversation. This is what Dan responded. Hello, Jonathan. As discussed, our proprietary mix is protected by trade secret. As a result of this, any information include the lab name cannot be shared as it would potentially negate our trade secret protection. I have included the definition of trade secret to educate you and your audience of what must be kept confidential in order to maintain our trade secret protection. A trade secret is a type of intellectual property in the form of a formula, practice, process, design, instrument, pattern, commercial method, including test procedures and facilities, or a compilation of information not generally known or reasonably ascertainable by others, by which a business can obtain an economic advantage over competitors. Holy crap, that's a mouthful.
That's a definition right there.
Whew. So that was a definition provided by HPA as to why they couldn't release the lab testing to protect their trade secrets. As we are a corporation registered in the USA, the document you referred, the HPA certification of enhanced biodegradability, listed on our website, is a legally qualifying document about our proprietary products' enhanced biodegradability and its degradation process. Therefore, our corporate statements hold the same validity as publishing the independent lab test that was conducted, as the information listed on our statement is copied directly from the lab report. In regards to our DNR statement, please find a copied quote from our webpage that our products are being produced to conform to the biodegradable process approved by the USA Department of Natural Resources, WA. As per our discussion, providing you're willing to sign an NDA, a non-disclosure agreement, I would be happy to show you the DNR letter at AirsoftCon,
which is this weekend.
So, Dan, in this email correspondence, you know what? Let me finish the email correspondence really quickly. The HPA trademark BBs are the only enhanced biodegradable BBs whose enhanced biodegradable process has been tested by a U.S. accredited laboratory while being produced to conform to the biodegradable process approved by the USA Department of Natural Resources, WA. As discussed, the EN 13432, which is the UN standard, is not a valid standard of testing in the USA. In the past, we previously made products for international sales that conform to the EN 13432 requirements. However, since trees, twigs, and branches would not pass the current EN 13432 test requirements, we removed the statement to conformity from our webpage, since everyone knows trees, twigs, and branches are biodegradable and will break down in a compost pile. By the way, the EN 13432, for those of you, it is a composting standard, not a biodegradability standard. I hope the above information, that was me interjecting, I hope the above information helps. As previously discussed, once a NDA is signed, I will continue a more in-depth discussion at AirsoftCon. Full stop. Let's go back to my favorite part of this. As we are a corporation registered in the USA, the document you referred to, the HPA certification of enhanced biodegradability listed on our website, is legally a qualifying document about our proprietary products' enhanced biodegradability and its degradation process. Therefore, our corporate statement holds the same validity as publishing the independent lab test that was conducted, as the information listed on our lab statement is copied directly from the lab report. Jonathan Higgs was told in an email by HPA that I will provide you all of the information if we can meet at AirsoftCon 2019. You can sign an NDA, but I am telling you right now, we are in compliance with the federal standard. Jonathan Higgs, at the end of his video on Airsoftology, flat out said HPA was not in compliance with the federal standard. He said, I'm not saying this. The federal government is saying this. I'm paraphrasing that, but it was something very close to that. No, Jonathan, you actually are saying this. You were told by a company. By the way, this will be public on my Facebook page as of tomorrow. you were told, we are in federal compliance. Please, let's meet up at AirsoftCon. We'll sign an NDA and we can discuss all of this. He preemptively went out and said this company was not in compliance with federal law. That is a very bold claim. When you have the company here, you have not received any reports back from your Freedom of Information Act that you filed before you even spoke with the company. And you have the company here saying, no, we are in compliance. We'll show it to you. We just want to show it to you in person so that way we can make sure that, you can't take this information anywhere, essentially, is why they want to do it. And yet he went on his YouTube video and said the U.S. government says that they're not in compliance. When I saw that on his video, I was like, that's fishy. The U.S. government would probably shut him down if that were the case.
Yes.
So, it is in my opinion that Jonathan Higgs, after seeing this email here, presented something that wasn't true. He did speak about the compliance on the federal regulation and said that the company was not in federal regulation. He didn't say that I spoke with the company. They said they are in federal regulation compliance, but I haven't confirmed it. He said the federal government says they're not. Again, link in the description below. You can go and find that. Matt, you got that federal standard there?
I do have the federal standard here.
Yay, let's
runner. Okay, I might actually need to put my microphone on the stand now. I need both hands for this. So, for anyone watching, I don't think you can probably read that from here because of the light. It's in one of the links that Royce has below. It is the whole document itself, not the quick screenshot and zoom in that Jonathan did. I believe it's 16 pages right now. I believe that's what it is. One-sided, not double-sided. For those of you Mine's kids, Ryan.
Hi, Ryan.
There's a big difference when writing a paper. So if you follow the spec section, he says, you go in and you go to section, he has it on the front, 16 CFR Part 260. Point 4 is compostable, which we'll get into later about that. I need to remember to
That was also something that I had a major issue about.
Chaz, watch the video. Stop calling me.
Look. I will let him know.
Section 5 is degradable, which is what Jonathan zoomed in on the last paragraph of. While you're doing that, I'll just go ahead and read the standard itself, the entire standard, instead of just the last paragraph that Jonathan zoomed in on. So Section 4 is degradable. The 1998 guides state that a marketer should qualify a degradable claim unless it has competent and reliable scientific evidence that the entire product or package will completely break down and return to nature, i.e., decompose into elements found in nature within a reasonably short period of time after customary disposal. The final guides state that marketers should not make unqualified degradable claims for items destined for landfills, incinerators, or recycling facilities because complete decomposition in those specific environments will not occur within 1 year. This is where Jonathan zoomed in and read. The final guides also clarify that a marketer making an unqualified degradable claim for solid items other than those destined for landfills, incinerators, and recycling facilities should substantiate that the
qualifying statement was provided. And Jonathan Higgs was told in an email, we have a qualifying statement. And under the federal guidelines, we are in compliance. And yet, Jonathan Higgs still made the claim they are not in federal compliance. I take major issues with that. To a guy that I have looked up to for like 3 years. I mean, like, I don't hold him at the pinnacle, but I still go to the guy for information. Again, I had to call one of my good friends and say,
and we're down again. Nope. Maybe.
need to update the software. I think that's what's going wrong with it.
Come back to me.
There we go.
Yep, there we go.
All right, give it just a moment to catch back up. Sorry, guys. Apparently it's the software dying tonight.
You good? You want me to talk about the first paragraph?
We will find out. All right, let's go for it.
Okay. So, where he was saying that they need to decompose fully within 1 year, there are two options to be in compliance with this standard. A, you should qualify a degradable claim. That is what the enhanced biodegradability of his BBs claims. That's his qualified claim, backed up with testing that was submitted to the federal government about his product. Or option B, it has to fully decompose within 1 year. There's two options to being compliant.
Yep. Uh-oh.
We okie dokie, Dr. Jones?
I think we're okay. Sorry.
I think we are.
I need to get a new program for live streaming. So, there are two different federal standards to be in compliance with biodegradability.
It's one standard. There's two ways to be in compliance.
Well, there's one standard, but it's two different. Again, yeah, as he said, two ways to be in compliance. Jonathan Higgs only talked about one of those ways. He was also told in an email correspondence that we are in compliance. Just meet with me. We'll sign an NDA, so you can't disclose trade secrets, and we'll go from there, and I'll show you everything. At least that's the correspondence that we have. Again, we don't have all the correspondence. And yet, for some reason, Jonathan Higgs made the claim that they were not in federal compliance. One last thing I wanted to go over, and I think let's make this quick so we can get to Q&A.
Well, I still have so much information.
Compostability versus biodegradability. Elite Force sent all of their information, and again, all of this information will be provided on my Facebook. They did a compost test. They didn't do a biodegradability test. They did a compost test. The compost test.
So that compost test is that certification, that EN 13432. It's a European standard requiring compostable plastics to disintegrate after 12 weeks and completely biodegrade after 6 months.
But it's compostable, which means they need to be put with like materials. And then under the standard that we found, again, links below, pictures, all that stuff on my page tomorrow. Again, I do these shows semi-late at night. They were to be cooked in an oven at ballpark of about 136 degrees Fahrenheit or 58 degrees Celsius, plus or minus 2 degrees Celsius. The BBs were also cut in half, and then they were also 50% moisture content must be maintained, which meant that they kept adding water or some sort of moisture to it, and they needed to be cooked at 140 degrees ballpark, give or take, in a carbon-free air atmosphere. Not just put outside and then you go back out in a year and you pick it up and you go, yep, it's about that much. Elite Force tests their BBs in an entirely different way. And if it is to be believed that the EU standard is not legal or is not a proper standard in the US, then, they're compostable. They're not biodegradable. And I don't know anybody who's slinging a BB and then going, Yeah, it'll be about 140 degrees tomorrow. Fahrenheit.
My BB's compostable. Not HPA BB. I'm saying no one's saying my BB's compostable.
Yeah, nobody says, you don't go out and buy a BB that says compostable BB. But yet that was the standard that Elite Force was tested. HPA was tested under biodegradability. That does not mean that one of these BBs is better than the other. That means that they were tested in two completely different ways. It is like comparing apples to oranges. They are entirely different. They both break down, but the test methods are. We cannot say that Elite Force is better than HPA because we don't have a side-by-side, one-to-one comparison test.
We can't say HPA is better than Elite Force either.
We can't say that either.
Cover both sides of that.
Yeah, no, you're right. No, you're 100% right. We can't say that either one of those BBs are better than the other because they weren't tested to the same standard. They weren't tested the same way. One was supposedly tested in an open environment. The other was cooked at 140 degrees with water added to it or moisture content added to it for 120 some odd days.
To bring this back full circle, Elite Force is compliant with that EN 13432 standard as well as HPA was. Dan took that down because it's not valid in the United States, was in his email what he responded. So both companies are compliant to the same standard.
Yeah, well, they were at one point in time. Mm-hmm. They're not now today. But that's all I got, guys. Q&A starts now. So we'll give YouTube a minute to catch up.
Give them a minute to catch up, and I can just run over all the other information.
Yeah, go for it. Q&A starts now. Start asking questions in the chat, or we're going to end the live stream because we've been going for quite a while.
We have been. So going through the other information I have, Jonathan Higgs had screenshots of what HPA posted on their Instagram about the testing data that was done. The outside testing that was done was Airsoft Atlanta, who's had drama with HPA, did a infrared microspectrometry test, which is a test that is designed to figure out what a material is made of. That test came back at...
the closest match was a polystyrene material. That was the closest match, but they could not confirm. I think it was somewhere in the ballpark of like 9.2% of the rest of the materials.
Yep. So it's a 90.93% match to styrene, not polystyrene.
To styrene.
Which polystyrene is just a bunch of styrene.
Yeah. So that's the best match that they could get. Now, labs generally put that in case they were wrong.
Yeah,
Guys,
it said the resulting spectrum and possible matches have been shown below in Figure 1.
Possible matches. Again, guys, I've got all this. Give me till tomorrow.
He's too busy being
So Ryan Gibson Hansen, Rampart Ryan, for those of you. No question, but thanks for doing this. Thank you for tuning in, Ryan. We really appreciate it. Matt, are you playing this weekend, Umbra Wolf or Chaz?
Is that why you were calling me? Yeah, Chaz, I will be playing tomorrow, Saturday, to be playing with Rostamedio, RDD Airsoft Works. We need to be going over, we'll be playing and having some fun with everyone. We also will be going over some details for that zombie event coming up. He didn't know I was going to give a shout out about that. October 25th, guys, is that zombie event.
That's going to be good times.
It's going to be awesome.
That's going to suck. Should I record for that?
You won't be able to see anything. It's at night.
Yeah, but I wonder if I don't set a camera up and try to like find some lighted areas.
We could just listen to you getting shot all night.
Oh, dude, I'm gonna yell at some zombies if they break character. Yeah, we'll be out Sunday, October 20th. Go Airheads Airsoft Field in Erie, Colorado. I need to get out and play some BB Wars because this has been all of this plus work.
I'm dragging right now.
I'm dragging. So the closest match was styrene material. And also knowing that the company that produces it produces bioplastics, so plastics that are supposed to break down, Which I think is a very good thing for the environment because get plastics out of my freaking oceans. Ooh, I almost swore there. Yeah, huge capitalist here, but take care of the environment, guys, because we actually need the environment to live. So go on. What else you got?
Other screenshots that Dan had on his video were
will be playing Saturday and Sunday. I will be playing Sunday only.
Thank you for clarifying that.
No, Ryan asked.
No, you're good. I'm getting my airsoft in after all this research. So the screenshots of HPA's lab test that Jonathan in his video claimed that HPA like essentially dishonored themselves or whatever, or proved that they were not in compliance. The adjusted percentage of biodegradability is 36.1%.
Up to.
Yes, up to. Thank you.
That's hugely important.
That's in their claim.
Yeah, that is in their claim. Yep. Up to 36%, not 36%. Up to.
And he made the.
Wait.
We good?
I don't know.
We should be good. It shows green.
It shows green now, but it was blinking.
Okay. So the test error provided, he was talking about how it's got HPA's logo on the top of it. I spoke with Dan about that, and Dan's like, nope, I put that on there so it covers my lab to cover me for trade secret. And I went into it with him. I'm like, why is everything got to be essentially kind of where Jonathan was going? Why is everything got to be a secret? There's a whole bunch of information going around, especially in China, not following trademark, trade secret, compliance, patents, all that information. Not all of it applies to China. So if someone was working for one of these labs and one of these companies found out and they made them an offer and they came and worked for them, we don't know if there's a non-disclosure agreement in place and whatnot. So there's a way that this material could get out to another BB manufacturer, and then Dan loses his entire what was that phrase in his email? Economic advantage.
Yeah.
So that's why everything's covered up. But the information is legit.
Well,
from the lab.
and it was offered up in full. Our contention was the Airsoftology video and how the information was presented. And in at least one instance, I believe that it was presented not truthfully. In one instance, specifically when he said that they were not in federal compliance, when he had an email stating, no, we're qualified here. And obviously Jonathan pulled up the federal code, but selectively edited in his video, not that part of the code that says, hey, HPA said they followed this part of the code. I'll take them at their word. I haven't confirmed yet, but I'll take him at their word. He didn't say that. He said, the code says this. They're not in compliance. But there's more.
There's more to that code.
You didn't read the whole thing. Anybody who's never read federal code before?
He did say he's not a lawyer, but what he didn't do is he didn't give the whole thing.
Mm-hmm.
That's where I had a little bit of an issue. Yeah, I understand. I'm not a lawyer either. Runner's not a lawyer. But when there's two sides and you only give one of it, that's pretty obvious.
It was Elite Force versus HPA BBs. No, it was not. That video had nothing to do with Elite Force.
Comparing 1 to 2. Yeah, it didn't have anything to comparing 1 to 2.
Yeah, no. They didn't compare Elite Force to HPA. They said Elite Force gave me information. Here's why HPA is bad and why they didn't. At least that's what I got out of it. That's my personal opinion. Does not look like we're getting a ton of questions in the chat right now, Big Red.
It's not really. It's just an informative video.
No, it's an informative video. So, guys, if you have any more questions, please feel free to message me on my Runner page or go to Big Red Airsoft's Facebook page down in the link down below. He is linked down below. Yeah, there's a lot here. A lot of information that was not presented properly. Hopefully we're able to shed some light on this. Share this video. Share it everywhere. Discord, WhatsApp, anywhere you can share this video at, everywhere. Share it. I feel like I was lied to by somebody that I looked up to. So share this video. And let's see if other people feel the same way or if I'm in the wrong. And if I'm in the wrong, I hope that my channel is crucified into the ground.
You think that's going to happen anyway?
It's going to happen anyway. But no, if I'm wrong, crucify me for it. I don't care. If I'm wrong, I deserve it. I 100% deserve it. Get my channel erased off of YouTube.
I feel like my father right now. Like, I'm not technologically, like, understanding. Can't seem to find the comments on this video.
Ryan Gibson Hansen, do you guys remember a couple months ago when Elite Force made fun of HPA? They were saying that HPA was bad for saying LE/mil only. No, I don't remember that.
I don't. I know this confrontation back and forth between these two companies has been going on for years.
Yeah, it's not.
To Dan.
Yeah, this isn't new. One Punch Airsoft, local airsoft player from Colorado. What would be a brand we could use with high biodegradability? What do you define as high biodegradability? I use HPA BBs. Are they high biodegradability? I don't know.
The standard says biodegradable.
They're in compliance with the federal standard, but I don't know. I haven't looked into a bunch of other BBs.
Now to validate this a little bit right here. This here is the test from Elite Force, actually. Screenshots from Jonathan's video. It does say it's tested to the EN13432, which is the compostable, but it shows to completely break down to like 99% after 120 days. I mean, yeah, I'm an HPA rep.
That's
but
also
the facts here show that it will biodegrade via composting ways to almost 100% after a year.
By being baked at 140 degrees.
That's how
with
this test
water
is run.
with water added to it to maintain a 50% moisture content. And the BBs were not done in full specimens, they were done in half specimens. So they were actually split in half.
It's the same
I don't know what BB has a high biodegradability, One Punch. I use HPA, and until I am 100% without a doubt proven wrong, I will continue to use HPA BBs. They are the best on the market as far as I know. As far as what has high biodegradability,
for lack of a better term, we need you to define what you consider biodegradability.
I don't know what I mean, because again, Elite Force has high compostability, which is a different test. That's what sucks about this is the BBs weren't tested 1-to-1. It wasn't like these BBs were tested the same way as these BBs, and let's see the results. That would be easy. My God, that would be nice.
Wouldn't it be nice if... No, never mind, sorry. Go out to any...
Shut up, Beach Boys.
Go out to any airsoft field, and the two easy ones in Denver area. Go down to FAF.
Most players would assume bio is 1 year to 1.5 years. Show me some materials in nature that will break down that fast.
So trees and shrubs and wooded debris and everything, cellulose it doesn't even comply to that compostability standard. Trees, you look out in the environment, trees will be around for 10 plus years before they biodegrade, but they're biodegradable.
I'm sorry, I've pulled stuff out of I've gone to areas in back in like my hometown, and the same rotted ass dead tree from over 10 years ago, and it was dead when I moved there over 15 years ago. Wait. 14 years ago. Still there.
Yeah.
Still there. Trees don't even completely biodegrade in, from what I've seen, 15 years. And in fact, we have fossilized evidence to show that some things don't ever completely biodegrade.
Yep.
So,
I mean, you have a test here that's compostability.
They're
just HPA's test.
Again,
they're trade secrets. They're not going to disclose that information.
No,
it says they are biodegradable. It has a claim that they are biodegradable to 36%, up to 36%. Then you also have trees and whatnot on the environment that are quote unquote not biodegrading within 10 years.
I tell you what. I'm gonna put us on the spot.
We'll put you on the spot.
Down in the links below, there is a Patreon link.
Oh, are
Matt
you going
and
where
I
I think you're going? I think you are going where I think you're going.
Matt and I can take these two brands of BBs, same weight. Let's go with same weight because they have to be made of the same type of substance. So 0.32 Elite Force BBs and 0.32 HPA BBs. And Matt and I can find out what is required to have them tested at 1 year. And we can find out the answer for you if you guys are willing to donate to the Patreon page and make that happen.
I love that idea. That test is thousands of dollars.
Yep.
But if we get the funding,
If we can get the funding, guys, let's find out the answer. Share this video. Let's find it out. I will send in a bottle.
That would be cool if that happens.
I'll send in a bottle of 3.2s. I'll send HPAs. And you know what? Whichever one wins, that's which one gets my business. Up until I know that information, I'm going to stick with the one that I'm currently purchasing that I don't have any moral issues or anything else with. What do you think?
That's what I'm doing.
Let's do it. Let's do it, guys. Patreon link in the link below. Oh, my God. The Illinois Airsofter, one of the channels I got from Airsoftology. I mean, fecal matter breaks down quickly. Hoping nobody makes BBs out of that, though.
They went there.
I don't know, dude. I don't know, man. I've found dog poop in my backyard. It's pretty dried up, but it's definitely been there since before the winter time. You know what I mean?
Man. I mean, dog poo does turn white, doesn't it?
Oh, God.
Maybe.
All right, guys. Thank you all so much for watching this live stream. Go to the Patreon link below. I'm going to start posting that.
I'll be out playing Saturday and Sunday. If you want to come talk to me directly about this, I am more than willing to discuss it with you, as well as Dan from HPA. If you want, ask me for his information, his email, the email that I correspond with him on. He told me before this on Tuesday night, I think it was, he has no problems communicating with everybody. However, his sales are up due to this, so he will get back to you when he can, but he will get back to you. That he assured me.
So until next time, guys, go to that Patreon link. Help us raise money to do a proper biodegradability test of Elite Force versus HPA. Let's do it. I'm down. Let's do it. Let's do it as a community. Community money goes in for a community answer. I'll talk with Albany. I'll talk with Albany. I tell you what. I'll talk with Mama Runner, and I might make the first donation to the Patreon, which is dumb because it'll just go right back to me. But
it's set aside for that.
But it's set aside for that. What do you think? You want to do it?
If we can get the money, I'll do it.
Dude, we know guys that drop several grand on nods, but yet they're not willing to find this answer out. Scrubs, you're all scrubs. Darren, Ross, Cameron,
Plebs.
Ryan, you're all scrubs. And with that being said, my name is Royce. I have been your runner. This is Matt Krueger. He has been your Big Red Airsoft. And we will see you all next time right here on Runner Airsoft. Peace out, guys.